like the thing that continues to fascinate me is history, and like things that last through time sort of have a unique value which is not describable. I mean, if you're lasting through time, then that essentially means that you have faced all of the adversities that have come during time. So sort of persistence and like a long continued history is something that is really very valuable. And when you think about the kind of history that India has, so the earliest recorded history is 5,000 years ago, which was the Harappan civilization, right? And we have had a continuous chain of civilization in this part of the world, and very few parts of the world have had such a long continued chain of civilization. There is a Mesopotamian, there's the Egyptian civilization, there's the Chinese, and then there's the Indian, and sort of every other place came up after this happened. So the amount of history that there is, and there's that quote, kuch baat aisi hai ki hasti mitti nahi hamari, right? So there is something to that. There is a bunch of history that goes on in India, right? So for example, if you end up building an empire in India, you would only be one of the top 50 people who did it, because there has been so many people who have already come and done all of what you're doing right now. And like another really interesting thing that sort of took me was that all of the writings of the Eastern philosophers in general. So that includes the Chinese philosophers, right, Lao Tzu or Confucius, and even the Indian philosophers like Buddha and all, right. So all of these writings were later sort of arrived at independently by the Western thinkers as well, and that happened, at a much later stage in time. So whether it is the concept of Buddha about or the desire is the root of all evil. Schopenhauer, did it in 1700 AD, whereas Buddha did it in 500 BC, right? So there is something about that all of those, all of that intellectual progress sort of happened here early. And of course, as history goes, there have been even times of black ages where sort of society has regressed, and other parts of the world have developed more, and that is sort of the current scenario. But when we look at in the past, the intellectual achievements of our ancestors are something to be proud of, and that is another value, sort of a cultural value that India has.